Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News. The Sao Paulo lock-in event begins today. Many huge matches today and also over the coming days and weeks to determine who will be the first champion of the VCT franchise era. Lots to discuss on this though, especially with ScreaM saying that he reckons the only clear threat from the North American scene is Cloud9 and nobody else in North America is a particularly solid threat. Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. Just one quick update here on the Chinese Valorant team. I know there was some discussion about this yesterday, even on the press conference they did, that, well, if China gets going, they are going to be a serious contender. It's pretty interesting, right? Because obviously in, China CSGO, they've had some decent teams, but they've never really competed at the same level as even the European or the North American teams have, or the CIS region as well, for example. So I guess we'll see how it goes in Valorant, right? Whether China will absolutely take over, as maybe in some of the MOBA games, or whether it's going to be more like a CSGO type thing, but we'll see, right? So they're definitely looking to bring the Pro League to China at some point. What format exactly that has, I guess we might see down the line. Also, a note here from Doma, because we saw the other day that Eccles has signed that contract with, I believe it's Velocity Esports, this Indian organization, and Doma also kind of, puts here the plane emoji, implying that obviously former Fnatic player, he might well be going to this team as well. So we'll see if that happens, but the other day the rumor was that Eccles and Doma were going to go and join Velocity Gaming in India, and pretty cool opportunity for the both of them, and that Eccles had signed the deal and the thing with Doma was kind of yet to be confirmed. Now maybe it is, or maybe there's another option on the table. We shall see over the coming days. Also, quick note here from ShahZaM, just because we saw yesterday lots of drama about certain players or personalities not getting invited to give the watch parties for the lock-in events, and many big names are missing out there, and we kind of thought, what exactly is going on? Why has this been the case? Now Leah Ferrier actually said here yesterday that more creators are now being invited to co-stream, but we don't exactly know what this means or to what extent this is true, right? So I'm not exactly sure if ShahZaM can reach out to get these permissions or whether they've just decided. But at the end of the day, you'd feel like if you're a player in the VCT, but you're in, let's say, the challenger side, competing for an organization like G2 with all the success they're currently having in FPS esports, let's say, after the result yesterday in Katowice, then, maybe ShahZaM should be given these privileges. So we'll see how it goes. But and just another quick update there on ShahZaM trying to get permission to do it, but it's far from guaranteed. Let's talk then about the press conferences that happened yesterday. So pre-event press conferences for the teams that are currently there. Of course, the teams mainly in Group Alpha, because the Omega teams play quite some time from now and don't probably need to arrive there quite as of yet either. But definitely some interesting statements, certainly from the NRG side also, but also from what ScreaM has to say. So Talent Esports has a pretty nice jersey here. They of course play over the coming days as well. But yes, NRG talking about Ardis versus Yay, and FNS was asked this question by George Geddes to kind of say, look, who's better, right? It was kind of what was trying to be extracted from the situation. But Ye gives a rather interesting and political answer or diplomatic answer, and says, you know what, it's about us, right? It's about how well we set them up. Ardis, though, he does reckon could be even better than Ye potentially, and we even saw that discussion the other day that maybe Ardis actually could be a pack-a-punch to Ye in certain situations if the team sets him up well. And the rumor has it that NRG right now are potentially the most insane team in North America. Most players in Tier 2 and Tier 1 that have played up against NRG seem to believe they're the teams to beat right now from North America going into this event. They've got a difficult match today, there's no doubt about it, but the North American word on the street is NRG are the team to beat in the region. They're kind of OpTic, right, with a couple of changes, and a couple of changes that on paper should have made them worse, but maybe not the case. We shall see, I suppose, over the coming days. Well, they've got a big match today up against Koi. We'll see here in a second. The other part of this, though, is that clearly some players don't agree that NRG are the team to beat from North America. ScreaM was asked the question, and he says Cloud9, of course, where Ye's destination, although most of the word on the street is there that Cloud9 are either the second, somewhere to the fourth best team in North America, rather than first or fifth. Fifth, of course, belongs to Evil Geniuses. We'll see if that's true this event. But ScreaM was asked the question, hey, who are the biggest threat from NA? And he struggles to think of what the NA teams are, and then he says, actually, Cloud9, I don't really think too much of the other teams.
I wanted to ask about Ardis, actually, in particular. Obviously, him coming into the team, and obviously everyone's going to anticipate that he will be the direct replacement, I guess, for Ye, pretty much, when we kind of talk about, fragging and stuff like that. In your opinion, do you believe that Ardis has the skill ceiling to actually go above Ye, or do you believe it's somewhere more of a matching skill level?
Yeah, for sure. If I didn't think that, then we wouldn't have artists. But no, he's definitely really good. I mean, it just kind of depends on the opponents we face, our teamwork, how well we're able to set him up as well. I think a lot of Jake's success last year was a lot of ridiculous mechanical skills on his part, but we were also able to set him up really well. So we have to do our part to make sure that Artist does the same thing, if not better.
And this will be the last pre-submitted question. ScreaM, this one's also coming to you. It's from India, from
He's gonna have so many
Kushal
questions.
Batach from Sportskita. Starting off the 2023 season with lock-in, which NA team are you most excited to play?
Which LA team?
North America.
Yeah. Good question, man. I don't know. I think Cloud9 seems pretty strong. But beside Cloud9, I don't feel like NA is in a good place right now. I don't know. We have to see. We didn't see much, so. But probably Cloud9.
So I do think this is an entertaining response here from ScreaM. Look, it's happened in the past, it's happening now again, where European players such as ScreaM will give certain perspectives on the NA scene, and it can sometimes come back to bite said players when they talk about, oh yeah, you know, these teams aren't really doing that much apart from Cloud9, and maybe they will play a North American team that's not Cloud9 at some point, that Carmine Corp team, and therefore we shall see how they get on, and we'll have a look in a second whether that could potentially be true and what the bracket looks like over the coming days. But yeah, I thought it was a funny response from ScreaM, right, because he thinks, okay, NA, like, what are the NA teams? You can see the cogs turning in his head. He's like, okay, is it Sentinels? Is it, you know, NRG? Is it, maybe is OpTic still there? Like, you know, you can kind of see him thinking about what these teams are, and then eventually he lands on to say that actually, yeah, Cloud9 are the guys to beat, and the other teams he's not been so impressed by. So definitely an interesting statement. Whether ScreaM really knows the top and bottom here of how well they've been doing, of course, hasn't really practiced against these guys, I imagine, either. So we'll see how it goes, but I do always think it's quite entertaining when you get these statements from certain pros when they're like, oh yeah, these other teams aren't really too much to be worried about because they're not really all that, these teams that aren't Cloud9, whereas the reality might be different, or maybe he's bang on the money, and actually indeed Cloud9 will be the best team from North America, and his team will wipe the floor with everyone that isn't Cloud9, or potentially the best teams from other regions around the world as well. So Cloud9 of course play Paper Rex over the coming days, massive game for them. Of course, you know, it's difficult to say that Cloud9 are even the favourites in this one, right? You've probably got to favour Paper Rex as it stands. They did a nice little jersey swap here as well, and even George Geddes tweets this out yesterday. Cloud9 has been defeated 2-1 by Paper Rex in the first round of lock-in and has been sent home, and I was like, hang on, did I get the date wrong here of when this event is starting? But of course he's just trying to predict the future. We'll see if that comes true, but big games happening today, such as this one, as Chet points out here, the coach of NRG playing a difficult game against Koi tomorrow. The core of that lineup has beaten my old OpTic team before with new star power, might prove to be a difficult task again. Be sure to cheer for us tomorrow, hashtag NRG win. Thought it was kind of funny as well here from Marv. He says Doubtage should be 80-20 you guys. So yeah, we'll see about that one, right? Whether, you know, Marv is praying for NRG's downfall so we can come back to the starting team. But admittedly, after everyone in North America saying that NRG are the best team that NA has to offer, if they were to go down to Koi today, that would be quite the statement from Koi, but also for the North American scene in general. And also this from Bren from the event talent, of course, saying bro's writing the desk storylines out already. And Chet says, look, could I please join the desk if we lose? Because this is the thing for a lot of these guys, especially Chet. He's been very vocal on his frustrations with the format this event is employing, and therefore he's like, look, if we lose, I've been here for a few days and I'm already going home, like, you know, I might as well do something right while I'm still here, which could potentially be getting onto the desk. Could be quite interesting to see that possibility for the teams and coaches or whoever go out of the tournament, well, whoever goes out of the tournament rather early. So this is what's happening today. The big game starts tomorrow, or starts today from our perspective, and these are said matches. Now, we know that Gen.G versus Cloud9 has been pushed back a few days just because there was the illness that Loud have had, and hopefully that's all well and good by the 15th. But these are the matches over the coming days, starting at 5 p.m. my time, 12 p.m. of course Eastern time, 9 a.m. Pacific time, with Koi versus NRG. First match of the tourney, massive matchup. Of course, that's Coldamenta, Shados, Trex, Wolfen, and Stark. So right, so definitely some notable players of, well, well, previous times. NRG, I don't know, difficult to say. I would say NRG are marginally favoured here, but I feel like it's still not an easy series at all. We even saw, I think it was Zom said that he reckons Koi are going to win this one. Then we've got Detonation versus Giants, the second game of the day. It would have been Loud Gen.G, but they're pushing that back to the 15th. Then, of course, tomorrow we've got Karmine Corp versus FPX. So there is a world in which here that Karmine Corp, if they beat FPX, of course, that's the Chinese team now, not the former FPX from last year that are now kind of on the Na'Vi lineup with cNed there instead, and Ardis has gone to NRG. But if Karmine Corp were to beat FPX, and then they were to beat either Loud or Gen.G, there is, and of course that's not going to be easy, well, not going to be easy to do. Maybe if Loud is suffering from some illnesses, then maybe there's a better chance there that Karmine Corp were to win. They could play NRG here in the semi-finals to determine the team that qualifies, which would be very spicy if ScreaM and Karmine Corp play against a team like NRG that, ScreaM has just mentioned, that might not be so good as others think they are. So we'll see about that one. The other side of the bracket, though, of course, Feb 14th is a busy day at Cloud9, PaperX, BBL, DRX. DRX, another massive favourite here for this tournament. So, I mean, yeah, the fact that it's a singular limb is crazy. That DRX, Cloud9, PaperX, two of those teams at least will be out by just the second round of matches on the 18th of February. And then Heretics EG, that happens on the 15th, and MIBR Talon as well. So that's what's happening. Just, I'm not going to go through all the matches here in Group Omega, but these start in several days' time on the 22nd of February. So I'm going to leave it a little bit till then, just because a lot of the teams aren't going to travel out there quite as of yet, with the matches still several days away. But over the coming days, they will be all attending the event in Sao Paulo. So very exciting stuff. Definitely tweet your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you are new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.